So, what does a woman bring to the table, and is 50-50 realistic? I want to lay a foundation before picking this thing apart. First, let's look at the purpose of a table. People gather to share meals, celebrate special occasions, foster social connections, family meetings, recreational activities, the list goes on and on. It's a central space for bonding, communication, and creating memories. Second, let's look at the role of the woman in the family structure. This can be influenced by individual preferences, societal norms, and cultural dynamics, but there is no denying everyone at the table either came in her or came out of her. Therefore, the woman is the purpose for even having the table. Notice I didn't say the sole purpose because obviously the man is needed for reproduction, among other things. Stay focused. I'm specifically answering this ridiculous question that shouldn't even need responding to, but I digress. Everybody at the table is either nurtured, looked after, emotionally supported, or cared for by the woman. Third, if a woman deems a man worthy enough to extend his legacy, thereby digging out her womb, creating children with the chosen man, that should be considered an honor and a privilege because parts of the woman have to die in order for her to do so. There are parts of a woman's body that'll never be the same. Her breast may become engorged as milk starts to transition for breastfeeding. Hormone levels like estrogen and progesterone fluctuate. This can affect mood, energy levels, and how much milk is produced. Some women don't even produce enough milk naturally. Can you imagine how stressful and depleting it must feel to have your body so out of whack that you can't even feed your own child? The abdominal and pelvic floor muscles may even become stretched or weakened, sometimes separates. The nerve of some 50-50 tyrants who are clueless about women's bodies and the responsibility of parenthood and running a household. They seem to only know how to provide D. At the very least, a man should provide for what's his. In order for a family to sustain, there has to be balance. 50-50 simply doesn't work because if an employed woman has to work a full shift of 8 hours, maybe even overtime, find her way home in rush hour traffic, tend to the children, tend to their schoolwork, take care of the home, give her man sex, stroke his ego, and restore that man from what he's been through throughout his day, what is she left with at the end of her day? Or is she supposed to be Superwoman? Bottom line is, 50-50 is a selfish mentality. But I only hear that coming from the mouths of boys with their tails between their legs who haven't yet matured or understand more than their self-serving conceit. So I guess there's still hope if there are some men out there willing to teach them what's unacceptable. The key is to find a capable woman, but you do not want a working woman. If she's an entrepreneur or self-employed, you set the parameters for what works for you. But when the chips are down, she's fully capable of rolling up her sleeves with the notion that once the man is back on his feet and stable, he relieves his woman of those duties. Why don't you want a working woman? Well, because essentially she's dealing with two men, you and whoever she's employed by. She has to go to work for that man. She has to appease him, follow his orders, and do what he tells her to do. Then come home to you tired and frustrated and give you what's left of her. Let's be logical here. Do you really want all of that pressure on your woman and expect her not to exude masculine energy? You want all of that responsibility on her for the sake of making it easier on your laziness? Just doesn't make sense.